All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining me on this program. This is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Shalom, one and all. Now it is about that time, and I'm actually pretty excited because it's that new season for the Hebrew. It's the new season, okay, for us all, you know, as Israelites. The spring is here, and it's time to start dealing with these feast days, these annual feasts, right? So we have all our holy days coming up, and obviously the one that starts it all off is the Passover. Okay, so according to the Hebrew calendar, it is now time for the Passover. Spring is here, regardless of what the weather looks like outside. You know, spring is definitely here, and this is our new year. What happened back in January, that's a Gregorian New Year. You know, that's working from a different calendar. But for a Hebrew New Year, it's beginning in the spring. The spring kicks off, and then, you know, 14 days later we end at Passover. So this lesson is obvious about Passover and the days that follow, which is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And of course, if we extend it out even further, we're talking about the rest of the holy days. So I will endeavor to give you guys an understanding of what, you know, Passover is. And obviously we're going to go into the Old Testament, we're going to go into the New Testament, and we want a complete understanding about this holy day, which we call Passover. Because, you know, a lot of times when we get into, you know, obviously when we get into Christianity, you don't really talk about it. Okay, I mean, you may have heard of the word and it was always dismissed, you know, that, oh, that's for the Jews, or that's what they used to do, that's in the Old Testament, those kind of things. But, you know, it is, you know, the Messiah is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Okay, you know, Most High says, I'm the same, I change not. Okay, so all the things that he wants us to do, mostly all the things that he wants us to do, we are still to do. And I say mostly because some people say, well, what about sacrificing and all? Okay, so mostly, right? But even in that, he told us that was going to cease. When we go to Daniel, he said that was going to stop at some point, right? Or be suspended for a time, because a lot of things are going to actually come back a little bit later. So I wanted to go ahead and jump into that. Let's start out with the Passover. And one of the things that we have to have a certain joy in our heart. Okay, the reason we need to have a certain particular joy in our heart is because when we rehearse the matters, we are saying to the Most High that we are signing up for his program, right? That hey, count me in, right? This is a recognition. This is a gathering. It's almost like a family reunion where, you know, hey, everybody has on a t-shirt. They're all a part of the same family. And that's what we do when we are acknowledging, right, and commemorating these feast days. And I say acknowledging, memorializing, commemorating, because again, we are commanded to do such things, right? But then you're going to have the cynic out there who's going to say, hey, you know, we're not in Jerusalem, you can't really do this, you can't really do that, and all that. We still need to rehearse the matter. Okay, we need to rehearse the matter, because the alternative is go the pagan route and do what the other people are doing, do what the Gentiles are doing what the pagans are doing. Or we can do what our forefathers were doing. We can rehearse the matter. We can let the Most High know, look, we are signing up for your program. We want to acknowledge you in your feast days. Okay? So no matter where we are, we need to lift up our voices, and we need to acknowledge and celebrate and be proud of what the Most High wants us to do. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into that. And where we find the feast days is in Leviticus. So let's start there. Leviticus 23. You guys already know it. Look in the subscription box below. Give you all the scriptures so that you guys are ready to go with that. So we're going to go to 23. Leviticus 23. And we're going to read the first 7 verses. It says, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. Okay, Sabbath of the Lord in all our dwellings. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. That's verse 4. And notice that it starts with the weekly Sabbath. It starts with the 7th-day Sabbath, right? Verse 5. And the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover at night, basically, in the evening. When the sun goes down, that's when it starts, right? It says, in the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. Okay, 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. So now right there, right out the gate, you have an instruction. You have a when and you have a what you should be doing, right? So for 7 days, ye are to eat unleavened bread, right? It says, and on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. So 7 days we are to eat unleavened bread. No yeast in it, right? No yeast, right? In verse 7. And in the first day ye shall have a holy convocation, and ye shall do no servile work therein. So you should not, you're not going to work for money, basically, right? You're going to work to prepare for the Sabbath, prepare the meals, get everything ready. If you're going to fix your home up, or if you guys are going to gather together, and make things and things like that. You can do things that pertains to the Passover or pertains to preparation, right? But you're not going to do any servile, go out there and make some money, right? Make some money, business wise. You're not going to do that, right? You're not going to conduct business, but you can work for the preparation of Passover. Does that make sense? Okay, so you have the right there out of the gate. You have the when we're supposed to do, and you have the what we're supposed to do, right? So for 7 days you eat unleavened bread. Okay, if you have like a tortilla or whatever and it rises because of the heat when you turn it over on the pan and all that stuff, whatever that, okay, that's not yeast. Okay, that's flour, water. Don't put any yeast in it. You're good to go, right? So those breads that does not contain yeast, so look at those, or leavening agents, right? Look for those things, and obviously you want to get the leaven out of your house. Okay, get the leavening, all the prepared things that have the leaven in it, your cookies, breads, crackers, the things that have leavening agents or the yeast in it. You want to remove it out of your dwellings, right? Most people, they just throw it all away and everything. That's fine. And some people put it somewhere else that they do not dwell, right? It is symbolic, okay? And well, we're not going to get into unleavened bread. We'll get to unleavened bread a little bit later, okay? We'll get to that a little bit later, okay? But just know it's symbolic of actively getting the sin out of your life, right? We'll deal with that. Go to Exodus chapter 12, right? Let's go to Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12, and I'm going to start over at verse 11. Okay? 12, 11 through 39. We're going to read quite a bit of it, right? It says, and thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, I mean covering up, girding up your loins, covering up like basically from what they wore. They were tunic type outfits, and then they would take the back of it and pull it between their legs, pull it forward and tuck it into the pap of the belt right there in front, and it's more like pants. Okay, but you're going to cover yourself, right? It just means to cover yourself. And thus shall you eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, meaning ready to go, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. Quickly, it is the Lord's Passover. I mean, you're going to eat it very quickly. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood, and the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. Okay? So pass over. I'm going to overlook, pass over, not put judgment on you, judge you for your sins and your mishap. Anybody who has the blood. And yes, that included any of the Egyptians who put the blood over their door. It will pass over some of them. And we know that to be true because they came out a mixed multitude, right? So, anyone who, this is a simple act of faith and obedience right there. You either believe what Moses is saying, okay, you believe what the Most High said through Moses, put this blood over your house, I'll pass over you, and, you won't be destroyed, or you can not believe it and not do it and get destroyed, right? So that's just faith, I believe what he's saying, and in obedience, I'm going to do it also, right? Faith and obedience, faith and works, right? And this day shall be unto you for a memorial. A memorial. I said that in my opening, right? A memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You're one of the generations, right? Throughout your generations, and ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. So let's keep rehearsing the matter. Of course, you're going to have people out there who try to get you to stumble, right? Who's going to put a stumbling block before you? Oh, well, we're not in Jerusalem, and you're not doing sacrifices, and you didn't give it to the priests, and you didn't. They'll tell all these things. We're memorializing, we're rehearsing the matter, right? So you prepare your Passover meal, okay? You get your unleavened bread, okay? If you can't get it in a class, because a lot of people, they feel like they're not really getting it because, they're not in a physical classroom or whatever, then you keep it in your home, you and your family. Right? If it's just you by yourself, you go keep it with another family that's doing it. It don't have to be a big church gathering, a big congregation, a big assembly. It doesn't have to be that way, okay? 2 or more are there. He's in the midst. He sees it, right? So let's keep that in mind. Verse 15, 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Again, we have that instruction. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day till the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. Okay, right? So for 7 days, don't eat anything that had yeast or leavening agents in it. Simple instruction. I'm letting that marinate a little bit, right? Nice and simple, because people always call. They'll send an email or comment in a video. So what do I do? What did I do? Okay, you're getting instruction right now. Okay, all the feast day lessons, Fountain of Israel, all the feast day lessons is telling you what it is, what it means, and what we should be doing, right? So that's how this works. What it is, what does it mean? Okay, any of these days, Passover, unleavened bread, Pentecost, atonement, so on and so forth. Okay, what it is, what do we, and what should we be doing? What it is, what it means, what we should be doing, right? Okay, so 16. And in the first day, there shall be a holy convocation, a holy gathering, right? An assembly, okay? Be you and another family. It could be you and 2 other people, right? And in the 7th day, there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat. That only may be done for you, right? So cooking right there, right? See? So what you're going to prepare it. Right there. See, no manner of work going to be done except what you're going to eat. What are you going to do? How are you going to eat? Right? You got to prepare it. Right? So even in ancient Israel, when they prepared the Passover meal, they still had to strike a fire. Right? They had to make a fire because they had to roast it. Right? They had to cook. So the same thing today. You may have to cook. You may have to prepare and all that. Get it done in preparation for the Passover. You are able to do that. People say, well, can I cook on? Yeah, you got to cook, right? Now, traditionally, some people, they don't, since Christ is our Passover, they say, well, that's it. We're just going to have the bread and wine. Okay, some people, they'll go and grab some lamb. They didn't sacrifice it or anything like that, but they have a Passover meal, right? Just have a Passover meal. It's memorial. It's not the real thing. It is a metaphor, right? That's what we're doing, right? So if I have some lamb and the bitter herbs, greens, and the collard, turnip, mustard, green, stuff like that, and I have the bitter herbs, okay, I'm having a Passover meal, right? The other guys, you might hear it as a cedar meal, right? From the other guys, but you're gonna have like a Passover meal, and you can have the bread and the wine, okay? Because in ancient Israel, they had the meal. In the New Testament, they had the meal and the bread and the wine, right? But don't get me wrong. They had bread and wine. I mean, Abraham brought bread and wine to Melchizedek, so that's not a new thing, right? That's not a brand new New Testament thing, right? So, we're going to continue. 17, and you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your enemies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance for how long? Forever. Let's continue. In the first month, and on the 14th day of the month at evening, at night, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 20th day of the first month at evening, right? So from the 14th day to the 20th day, right? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 7 days later, right? 14th to the 15th day, you're going to eat unleavened bread. 7 days there shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Oh, we're way back in Exodus. Whether he's a stranger, okay, because none of them in Jerusalem at this time. There is no Jerusalem, right? So you're a stranger, meaning you're not Israel. You're not Israel, okay? Or whether you're born in the land, okay? Ye shall eat nothing leavened, in all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Again, giving us clear instruction. Don't eat leavened bread. You shall eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take ye a lamb according to your families and kill the Passover. Because they're calling the lamb the Passover, right? So it's a lamb. Okay? And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. You're going to be there all night. Don't come outside. For the Lord will pass through and smite the Egyptians. And when he see the blood upon the lintel and the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer. Okay, will not suffer the destroyer to come into your homes and smite you. And you shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give thee, according as he has promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passes over the houses of children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bow the head and worship. Okay, so understand. So when you do it, you rehearse the matter, you do this in your home, you tell your children the same way. When they ask you, well, why are we doing Passover? We doing this because it's a sign for our ancestors way back in Egypt, that he passed over the people when he went to destroy the Egyptians. And he passed over our people, right? He told you exactly what you're going to say. He said, it is a sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. Meaning, didn't save our houses from destruction. And the people bowed in the head and worshiped. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. So did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. Okay, so this is how much destruction he's delivering unto them, right? And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get ye forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as you have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as you have said, and be gone and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we be all dead men. So that's why he's talking about when you do this, you take this Passover, this unleavened bread, all that. You do it with your girds loin, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, ready to go, ready to leave, because they already knew when the Lord send this judgment, oh, you're gonna have to leave in a hurry, right? And we're seeing this play out. 34. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, right? Before it started, to rise. Their kneading trials being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. 35. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. They didn't borrow; they kept that, just so you know. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. They got all that. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men besides children. And what mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt. For it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry, could not wait. Neither had they prepared for themselves any victuals, food, right? So they didn't have time. They had to get out of there in a hurry after that, right? So that's why he said, you're going to do this. This is a sacrifice, but do it, shoes on, gird it up, staff in your hand, ready to go, right? Ready to go. So we're starting to get a better idea. We're starting to kind of see, you know, what Passover means, what happened at that event, and what it means. We're letting the story tell us exactly what it means, right? So we're going to go on over to Matthew 16, if you will. Matthew 16, and we're going to do 6 through 12. Matthew 16, 6 through 12. And it reads, Then Jesus said unto them, Take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, It is because we have taken no bread. Which when Jesus perceived, he said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason ye among yourselves, because ye have brought no bread? Do ye not yet understand? Neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000, and how many baskets ye took up? Neither the 7 loaves of the 4,000, and how many baskets ye took up? How is it that ye do not understand that I spake it not to you concerning bread, that you should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees? Talk about the false doctrine. But let's continue to 12. Then understood they how that he bade them not beware of the leaven of bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. The doctrine, the things that they're saying, the things, the false things out there that you have heard for years, right? The things you heard out there for years. You got Pharisees and Sadducees out today. They exist today. They're just not called Pharisees and Sadducees. But you got people out there spit the exact same doctrine. Do you understand? That's what's happening today. We're saying, okay, let's do the Passover. You got people saying, no. Okay? We're saying, okay, the Messiah, that's our Passover lamb. They say, no. Okay, you have that today. They're just completely turning the scriptures upside down. You went from one extreme over in Sunday Christianity to another extreme when you have Israel just pretty much divided on doctrine. Let's just stay with what the scriptures say. Let's just do that. Let's just stay right here in the book. Let's not go get carried away with all kinds of doctrines out there. We're talking about the Passover here. Okay? That they kept in the New Testament. Okay? They kept that right here in the New Testament. Let's continue. Okay? We're going to do Mark 8. Let's go to the next chapter. Mark 8. You have Pharisees and Sadducees today, brothers and sisters. 8. So I'm going to start at 11. 11 to 21. So they did eat and were filled, and they took up the broken meat that was left, 7 baskets. And they that had eaten were about 4,000, and he went them, and he sent them away. And straightway he entered into the ship with his disciples, and came unto him Dalmanutha. And the Pharisees came forth and began to question him, seeking of him a sign from heaven, tempting him. And he sighed deeply in his spirit. He said, here we go, right? He sighed deeply in his spirit and says, why doth this generation seek after a sign? Verily I say unto you, there shall no sign be given unto this generation. Okay, talking to them right there. I'm not going to give you a sign. And he left them and entering into the ship again, departing to the other side. Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship with them more than one loaf, right? So he's just showing them real quick. And he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod. Okay, this is a little bit different. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, is it because we have no bread? And when Jesus knew it, he said unto them, why reason ye, because ye have no bread? Perceive ye not yet, neither understand? Have ye your heart yet hardened? Having eyes, see ye not, and having ears, hear ye not? And do ye not remember, when I brake the 5 loaves among 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? They said unto him, 12. And when the 7 among 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they said, 7. And he said unto them, how is it that ye do not understand? And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hand upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up, and he was restored and saw every man clearly. And he sent them away to his house, saying, neither go into the town nor tell it to anyone in the town. And Jesus went out and his disciples into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, and by the way he asked his disciples, saying unto them, whom do men say that I am? Right? So he starts really getting into it as far as like who he is, right? He starts getting to like who he is. So again, this is the Passover, the Son of God, right? And so you guys can finish that, and he'll kind of get into that a little bit more. But we want to stick to the Passover for right now, right? Numbers 33. Okay, he's saying, look, I'm not talking about bread. I'm talking about what the Pharisees are telling you, what Herod is telling you, what the Sadducees are telling you, right? I'm not talking about bread. I got that covered. I took care of that. If you didn't have enough bread, this one piece that you did bring, I can make that more than enough. That's not what I'm talking about, right? We just want the first 3 verses of Numbers 33, 1 through 3, right? These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron. And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys by the commandment of the Lord. And these are the journeys according to their goings out. And they departed from Ramesses in the 1st month on the 15th day of the 1st month. And the morrow after the Passover, the children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. So they were gone, just kind of a retelling a little bit of, what had happened over in Exodus, right? Kind of a retelling. They went out with the protection and guidance of the Most High, right? So Exodus 13. Let's go back to Exodus 13. If we don't get to all the scriptures, the rest will be in the description box below. I urge you to look at the description box below to get the full telling. Exodus 13. Exodus 13, and I'm going to read 1 through 10. Exodus 13, 1 through 10. It said, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, sanctify unto me all the firstborn. Whatsoever opened the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine, the firstborn, right? And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, right? Egypt, bondage, okay? For by strength of the hand of the Lord brought ye out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month Abib. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Havites and the Jebusites, which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. Okay, land flowing and milk and honey is more of a saying that simply means it is fertile ground, right? It's just fertile land. Number 6. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast of the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. Everywhere that you live, no leavened bread, right? Just get rid of all the leavening agents, right? Get rid of all those. All the leaven, get that out of your quarters. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, this is done because of which the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. This is what you're going to tell your children. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thy hand, and for a memorial between thy eyes. A memorial, remember this. A memorial between their eyes, meaning in the mind, right? A memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand has the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in his season from year to year, telling us exactly what we should do. As a memorial, you need to remember to do these things. Right? It's no different than when the Gentiles, they do their Civil War reenactments and things like this. That you just keep doing it, right? Are they really going through the Civil War again? No, they're not, right? So the same thing. You're not really sacrificing the lamb and putting it on an altar, and you're not really, most of us, you're not really in Jerusalem. But he still wants us to do it. Remember. Okay? So we're gonna continue, because I got people, they just poo-pooing the whole idea, and it just really I personally don't get it. They poo-poo the whole idea, and I just don't get it. Verse 12, and I'm just gonna read chapter 12, and read verse 19. Let's see here. It says, 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Okay? Ye shall eat nothing leavened. Okay, that's verse 20. In all your habitation shall ye eat unleavened bread. Okay, just giving us some clear instruction of what you should be doing. That's what this Passover is, right? You got your first day of Passover, which is part of the unleavened bread week, right? That first day kind of kicks it off, and the next 6 days is unleavened bread. 7 days, you don't have that, right? You don't have leavened bread, right? And don't have the leavened bread in your home either, right? So we're going to continue Isaiah 66, because we tend to just, Israel, we're good at just doing whatever we want and just calling it good, right? But that's not how the Most High works, right? He has some instructions. He has some things that he wants you to do, and he really didn't ask any of us our opinion, right? Didn't ask any of us, well, what you think? You think I should do this, or you think I should do that? No. Most High didn't do that. Isaiah 66, we're going to read 2 and 3, and it says, for all those things has my hand made, and all those things have been, said the Lord. But this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and tremble at my word. You really believe what he says? You should have a healthy fear. That's what a healthy fear, as a respect and a reverence, right? With what he says. Verse 3. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth a lamb, as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation, as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense, as if he blessed an idol. Yet they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighted in their abominations. Right? So they just do what they want to do. We know the other guys have done that. They have no regard for the Most High God of Israel, right? But you and I, we should have a regard. Okay? So if we don't have that inner longing, that law that's in our heart, that love for Torah, that love, passion for His word. That He's going to say the little things that you do is going to be as if you're doing something else. Because you can't just go do your own thing. You can't just offer what you want. You can't offer the strange fire like Nadab and Abihu, right? One of those brothers. You can't just offer the strange fire and think that's going to be good. You can't just offer, like Cain. He didn't do like Abel. We can't just do what we want, how we want, and just say that it's cool. You can do it. It doesn't mean He's going to accept it. Right? So we should do our best. We should earnestly contend for, let me just see what it says. I'm just going to do that. Okay? Let me just see what it says. Okay, so what did they do? Okay, so they prepared they prepared the Passover. Okay, let me go ahead and prepare the Passover. Oh, okay, they had bread and wine, for the Messiah, just like Abraham did with Melchizedek, and all. Okay, let me just do that. You can't do all this extra stuff and just expect Him to just accept it. You're a parent out there, you tell your child, okay, go ahead and clean your room. And then they go out there and they go water the plants outside in the backyard. You're like, I thought I told you to clean your room. I watered the plants outside. What does that have to do with you cleaning your room? We tend to do the exact same thing when it comes to the Most High. That needs to stop. Does that not need to change, brothers and sisters? Let's continue. Isaiah, let's go to, we're still in the same book, so let's go to chapter 1 in Isaiah. Okay? We'll go all the way back to chapter 1 in Isaiah. And when I get there, I'm going to read 11 through 15 of chapter 1. 11 through 15. 11, it says, "To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, said the Lord? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks and of lambs and of he-goats. When ye come to appear before me, who has required this at your hand to tread my courts?" Okay, who asked you to do this? Right? "Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and the Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hated. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood." Right? Through 15, right? Because we're not doing, now you can read the rest, you see, we're just not doing the right things. We're not doing what He wants us to do. We want to do what we feel like doing, and we want Him to accept it. It sounds like Israel, doesn't it? You just do what we want and accept that. But He just said, no. I don't accept it. I cannot away with it. Let us continue. Exodus 20, 1 through 6. Exodus 20, 1 through 6. Okay? And it says, "And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other idols before me. Thou shalt not make any unto thee any graven images, and any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth." Now, a lot of people, they feel some type of way. They don't want you to observe the Passover. They don't want you to do nothing for the Passover. Well, we're not Jerusalem. We're not. Okay, but look at some of the things they're breaking. We're over here. We're looking at thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything. And you see all these, you go into these groups and stuff, and you see all these people have an image of the Most High, with black face, red eyes, white woolly hair and all that, looking like Kimbo Slice. And they want to make sure, and they want to tell you, oh, well, no, that's just, okay, yeah, I know. I know you don't like the Caesar Borgia Jesus. I understand that. But you're not doing any better by making another image. Right? Now, obviously, if you've been looking at this channel really any length of time, or especially just came off the Black History from the Bible series, if you look at that, the color and the curses, obviously, I believe that the Messiah, that Israel are a melanated people, right? That the Messiah is a melanated people, the Most High melanated person. Yes, I believe that. Okay, but I'm not going to make an image. I'm not going to make an image. I'm not going to wear an image. Right? So let's keep that in mind. They wanted, oh, you can't do the Passover. You can't, but you're wearing these images. You're making these images, and what are you doing? Right? Verse 5. And thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Are we getting an understanding here? And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So if we start right there, you just figured out how to show love to the Most High. You just read it right there in just those first 6. You just figured out, how do I show love to the Most High? You just figured it out. You just got it. I understand it's the 10 Commandments, but we overlook it. We complicate the matter. we make it way harder to it. Even if you don't actually try to add something to the Bible, right? We're adding it in our mind, and we added it in our actions. Oh, I think I got to do this. I think I have to do that. I think we should be doing. You're doing too much. You're doing everything except what he asked you to do. Let's continue. Amos chapter 5. Amos chapter 5. Amos chapter 5, just want 2 verses, 21, 22. 21, 22. 21, he says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. That you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Okay? You're going to do all this stuff, and I'm not going to do it because now it doesn't mean anything to you. Okay? You know what it is? It's the equivalent of when when you were like out there, Sunday Christian, everything. Okay, Saturday night, you go to the club, you do all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, all right, you out there wilding, and then Sunday morning you go into the church and you're just all pious and holier than thou at that point. It's the equivalent. This is the equivalent. You want to do exactly what you want to do. Let me go ahead and offer up a he goat and she goat and peace offering, love offering, a burnt offering, a sin offering. Let me go and do that. All right, boom, and then you go back again. Instead of straightening yourself out, you looking at how much ancient Israel. You looking at how many sheep, goats, and turtle doves you have, because you said, okay, this is how much sin I can do. Because it gets to the point to where it doesn't mean anything when you offend your God. Doesn't mean anything. We become numb. Right? It's supposed to be at a point where when you sacrifice this animal, it's supposed to be at a point when that innocent animal, because the animal didn't sin, you did, when you cut that throat and the blood comes spilling out, you're supposed to, that's you seeing your sin. You're seeing a debt being paid. Without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin, right? You're seeing your debt being paid, and you're supposed to be like, I need to straighten up. I need to get it right. I got to get my act together. That's how we're supposed to be. And that's why the Most High get to these points, moments like this. That's how he gets to these points. He's like, I can't stand your feast. I can't stand your sacrifice. I don't want none of it. Because it doesn't mean anything to you. Right? But let's continue. Let's continue. Psalm 40, right? I'm going to Psalm 40. I'm going to read it in the King James, but I'm also going to read it in the Septuagint, right? Because I want everybody to get this right. Okay? So we're going to go Psalm 40. And there's a reason. There's a reason. Okay, Psalm 40, and I'm going to read the first 6 verses. Psalm 40, the first 6 verses. Now listen. Okay? In the King James, it says, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined my ear and heard my cry. He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. And he had put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear, and shall trust in the Lord. Blessed is the man that maketh the Lord his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Many, O Lord my God, are the wonderful works which thou hast done, and thy thoughts which are to usward. They cannot be reckoned up in order unto thee. If I would declare and speak of them, there are more than can be numbered. All the great things that you have done, right? In verse 6, it says, sacrifice and offering thou didst not desire, right? It says, my ears hast thou opened. Burnt offerings and sin offerings hast thou not required, right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to read the same passages, right? And we're going to read it in the Septuagint, okay? We're reading the Septuagint, Psalms 40, right? And we're going to go right here, okay? And I think in the Septuagint, it's like 30, right? In verse 1. So in the Septuagint, when you go look for it, so you can check behind me what it says. In the Septuagint, it is Psalms 39 instead of 40, right? And just so you guys know, the Septuagint is the Greek version of the Old Testament, right? It's the Greek translation of the Old Testament, okay? Let's just go. That's what it means, right? That's what it is. Okay, and it says here, end of the Psalm of David, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he attended to me and hearkened to my supplications. And he brought me up out of the pit of misery and from miry clay. And he set my feet on a rock and ordered my goings aright. And he put a new song into my mouth, even a hymn to our God. Many shall see it and fear, and shall hope in the Lord. Blessed is the man whose hope is in the name of the Lord, and who has not regarded vanities and false frenzies. In verse 5 it says, O Lord my God, thou hast multiplied thy wonderful works, and in thy thoughts there is none who shall be likened to thee. I declared and spoke of them, they exceeded number, right? It's too many to be counted. And then it says this in 39 and 6 of the Septuagint, Psalms. Sacrifice and offerings thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me. Whole burnt offering and sacrifice for sin thou didst not require. Right? So I wanted to go there before we went to the Hebrew, right? Because in the New Testament, these were Greek-speaking Hebrews. Okay? So they probably read from the Greek translation of it, right? Okay? Not all of them. Some of them were multilingual. They read Greek, they knew Latin, and they knew the Hebrew or Aramaic, some Aramaic Hebrew, because that's really kind of what they were coming out of, right? So now we're going to go all the way to Hebrew. All we have to do is just do our history. Let's go all the way to the Hebrew, right? And I'm going to go to Hebrews chapter 10. Hebrews chapter 10. And I'll read the first 6 verses. Hebrews 10, first 6 verses says, for the law having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect, meaning perfect once and for all, because they had to keep doing it every year, right? For then would they not have ceased to be offered? Of course, because that the worshipers once purged should have no more conscience of sins, right? Wouldn't do it anymore. But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sins every year. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sins. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he said, sacrifices and offerings thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me. Okay, so understand when he says that, okay, he was looking at the Greek, and this is, well, we don't know the true writers of Hebrews, but we're just going to say the author of Hebrews probably was looking at the Septuagint version, because it says it word for word there, right? But a body thou hast prepared me, right? So in your homework, you go ahead and read Isaiah 53, all of it, right? And then we're going to go ahead and go to Zephaniah. Let's go to Zephaniah. And that's going to be, let's see here. Or is it? Maybe I have the wrong one here, so maybe not that one. Tell you what, let's go to, after you read Isaiah 53, then join me over in Matthew 21. Okay, Matthew 21. I'm looking something up. Okay. And when we get to Matthew 21, we're going to do 1 through 5. Matthew 21, 1 through 5. And it says, and when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem, and were come to Bethphage, unto the Mount of Olives, they sent Jesus to disciples, saying unto them, go into the village over against you, and straightway ye shall find an ass tied and a colt with her. Loose them, and bring them unto me. And if any man says aught unto you, ye shall say, the Lord has need of them, and straightway he will send them. Okay, so he's already getting them prepared, right? Verse 4, all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, thy king cometh unto thee, meek and sitting upon an ass, and a colt the foal of an ass, right? Okay, so starting to give us an idea, starting to heat up. I was going to go ahead and go to John. Okay, starting to get into some of these prophecies. John chapter 8. Okay, going to go to John chapter 8. And we're going to start over in 21 to 24. And 21 reads, then Jesus said unto them again, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, ye cannot come. Then said the Jews, would he kill himself, because he said, whither I go, ye cannot come? And he said unto them, ye are from beneath, I am from above. Ye are of this world, I am not of this world. I said therefore unto you, that ye shall die in your sins. For if ye believe not that I am he, ye shall die in your sins. So if you don't believe in who he is, the Messiah, you're going to have a lot of people who don't believe. They kick against Christ. I don't know if it's just a name or this whole idea of a Messiah, period, right? So you got people kicking against that. You know, I already have lessons dealing with that. So we're going to keep going. And we're going to jump around and go to, let's see if I read, jump to 31. 31, which reads, then said Jesus to those Jews which believe on him, say, if you continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered unto him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Jesus said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. If the Son therefore shall make ye free, ye shall be free indeed. So he's talking about giving them that everlasting life, right? He said, I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word has no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and you and ye do that which you have seen with your father, right? So he's kind of giving them, the idea. He's just telling them, right? He goes on, and they're like, man, you act like you've seen Abraham and all that, okay? Because he is who he says he is. I know a lot of people hate that, just like they hated it then. There's a lot of people hate it right now that he is indeed who he says he is. You're going to get that, brothers and sisters. We're going to keep on moving. We got a few more we want to get into, right? So Matthew 20. Let's go to Matthew 20. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. This lesson for you. Matthew 20. Okay, and then I'm just going to read from Matthew 20, 25 to 28. 25 says, but Jesus called them unto him and said, ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. Not whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. Okay, this is what this is about, right? This is what this is about, right? Okay, in your notes below, you're going to have Acts 20, 1 through 6. Acts chapter 20. Let's take a look here. Okay, Acts 20. All right, let's look at this. And after the uproar was ceased, Paul called unto him the disciples and embraced them and departed for to go into Macedonia. And when he had gone over those parts and had given them much exhortation, he came into Greece. And there he abode 3 months. And when the Jews laid wait for him, as he was about to sail into Syria, he purposed to return to Macedonia. And there accompanied him into Asia, Sopater of Berea, and the Thessalonians, Aristarchus and Secundus, and Gaius of Derbe, and Timotheus of the Asia, and Titus and Trophimus. These going before tarried for us at Troas. And verse 6, and we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread, and came unto them to Troas in 5 days, where we abode 7 days. Okay, so understand this. Okay, Paul, as he was going New Testament, he was still observing Passover. He was observing all the feast days. He was observing all the feast days, right? So I just wanted to kind of bring that up there just to show you. Okay, so we're going to go Exodus 23. We got 3 places and then we're out of here, right? Exodus 23. Let's knock these out real quick. Exodus 23. Give you guys some instruction here. Exodus 23, and I'm going to read 14 through 16, which it says, 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Okay, this is what you have to do. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Okay, and Passover, it kicks it off. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I command thee, in the time appointed of the month of Abib. For in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of the harvest, the first fruit of thy labors, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. Right? So it's giving us an idea. What should we do? What should we do? Give you an idea. We're not done. Okay. In the New Testament, the last New Testament, then we're going to end in Deuteronomy. In 1 Corinthians 5. Okay. In 1 Corinthians 5, we're going to do 1 through 8. And it says, it is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as it is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. And ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned that he that has done this deed might be taken away from among you. For I verily, as absent in the body, but present in the spirit, have judged already, as though I were present, concerning him that has done so this deed. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, when ye are gathered together in my spirit with the power of our Lord Jesus Christ, to deliver such as one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord Jesus. Your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaven the whole lump, right? So he's just letting you know that a little leaven leavens the whole lump, right? And it says, purge out therefore the old leaven, that's sin, that ye may be a new lump as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our what? Passover is sacrificed for us. And so he said in verse 8, therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Okay, so change our act, clean it up, right? Change our act. We can't just keep doing the same thing. So he's talking about get out of this sin. Get out, get this out of you. You and I, this is what he's talking about. But question is, will we do it? We have the instruction, but will we do it? So when you gather together, say, well, what do we do? What kind of instruction, what do we, I still don't know what I should be doing. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go ahead and let the Bible tell you. Go to Deuteronomy 14. Deuteronomy 14, and I'm gonna start at 22 to 26. This tells us what to do. Okay, it says, do this. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, and the field bringeth forth year by year. Okay, so you got a lot of camps out there, and I'm talking about the good ones. You have got camps and assemblies that actually do this. They gather together. The people gather together and they tithe, right? They will tithe their food. Okay, tithe is the food, right? Or you can tithe the money, but let's look at it right here. In verse 23, it says, and thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of the corn, of thy wine, of thy oil, the firstling of thy herd and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, all those things we just named, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God has blessed thee, okay, when he's blessed thee, then thou shalt turn it into money, and bind up the money in your hand, and shall go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. So he's giving us you can't do all that. Oh, well, the tithe was, corn and your vegetables, fruit, vegetables, and the firstlings of your. Okay, do you have that? Okay, tithe that. If you don't, bind it up into money. Okay, let's get this done. And 26. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thou shalt lusted after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household. So you have clear instructions on what we should do, right? When two or more are gathered in my name, I'm in the midst. So you get together, okay? He put his name there. Yes, we know our land is Jerusalem. Can you go there right now? Okay, can you observe it? Go there now? Can you go in the temple? Can you do all that stuff? No, you don't. We have Christ as our Passover right now. But we're still going to memorialize and do it as close to the recipes we can. We're trying to follow the recipe as close as possible. And we're just going to memorialize it, right? So this has been Passover, the days of unleavened bread. I hope you have a clear understanding. I hope that you have been edified. Do me a huge favor and like, share, subscribe, share it with everyone you come into contact with. And so until next time, search the scriptures and prove all things. Peace and shalom, Israel.